Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam Maharaj.
Dhanavat, Umadevi ki jai.
How are you, Maharaj?
I'm okay. Everything okay there?
Yes, Maharaj, by your grace, everything okay, Maharaj.
Okay, I don't know how many are coming today. It's the disappearance, huh? Of
Yes, Maharaj.
Govinda Maharaj. To go to the temple today?
Yes, Maharaj, I went temple afternoon, yes.
Who gave a talk? Devashish?
Devashish Prabhu talked with about Govind Maharaj.
Told about Govinda Maharaj?
Yes. Govind Maharaj stay with
Huh?
Sridhar Maharaj and take initiation in everything he explained. When Govinda Maharaj got to first time to Sridhar Maharaj and in everything talking with Devashish Prabhu today. And Sridhar Maharaj give initiation. First Govind Maharaj no agreed to take initiation.
Oh.
Then Sridhar Maharaj post.
Govinda Maharaj used to be a very restless young man. Was very restless. He had to move around all the time.
Devashish Prabhu told me he came London 24 times.
And when he was a young boy, he had to move around a lot. Also, he couldn't sit still. He used to climb the tree, and the mango tree, and eat the mangoes in the mud. In the mud, there's a couple of mango trees. And Govinda Maharaj, he was so restless. He used to climb up on the trees and take the mangoes, even though he wasn't supposed to do that. And like that, I told Guru Maharaj would sometimes want him to behave, and Govinda Maharaj was not listening. So he would take Govinda Maharaj by the shoulders and shake him like this. Why don't you listen to me? Behave. Like that. And very had his own mind, you know. Anyhow, in the end, he became very obedient to Srila Maharaj.
How many years you stay with Govind Maharaj?
What did you say?
How many years you stay with Gurudev?
How many years?
How many years did you spend
How many years have I spent there?
with Govinda Maharaj?
I think I went there in 1980, 1980. 1980. And I was going and coming from there since 1980. I think in 1982, I took initiation from Sridhar Maharaj Sannyas. And after that, I was going back and forth from Navadvip to maybe Mumbai. I was doing some preaching in Mumbai. And then 86, it was about 86, I left India. Yeah. So I was with him about 6 years.
You were there for when he was declared Acharya, specifically when the transition happened, right?
Sometime around then.
Hmm.
Sridhar Maharaj did not take so much interest. Nanda Krishna Prabhu, Dandavad. Dandavad. And
Dandavad, Sripad,
Bhakti-
Madhava, Puri Maharaj, Dandavad, devote everyone.
Dandavad Pranam.
and Linda, Bhakti Linda, Ki Jai,
Oh, hello, Dandavat Maharaj.
Dandavad.
Dandavad Pranam.
Dandavat.
We're,
Madihi Jaffa.
we're saying something about Govinda Maharaj. Today is his disappearance, Tirobhava, and just mentioning something about him. In the early days when I went to see him in 1980, he was the one that actually convinced us to stay at the Bud. Sridhar Maharaj was very detached and indifferent to everyone. But Govinda Maharaj was very affectionate to everyone. So when we go, we listened to Sridhar Maharaj, then we come down. And I was living in Mayapur at that time. And I would go back to Mayapur and I would come to Navadvip to hear Maharaj talk. And Govind Maharaj used to gather us all together and give us prasad. And he told, you come, if you like to come and stay. He arranged for us different places in the mud to stay. And the devotees also were very kind. They would give us their beds to sleep on, and they would sleep on the floor. It was really amazing how much affection they had and how much they wanted to serve. Anyhow, in that way, we became attracted to stay at the mutt and to hear Sridhar Maharaj and do some service there. That was in the very early days before they even had constructed a dormitory, guest house, dharamshala, I guess you call it. And in the beginning, we didn't know much about Govinda Maharaj, only that he was very affectionate to us all and encouraging us all to come and stay. And we would just go out here from Sridhar Maharaj, come down, and the devotees would prepare prasad and everything for us. Very nice, simple life. And only after, when Sridhar Maharaj was about to leave us, then we understood how Govinda Maharaj was so important, that he made him the Acharya, the successor, and all the responsibilities of initiating everything were transferred to him. And then gradually, over the years, we learned something about Govinda Maharaj's life. He was born in a place called Bhavanpur. Coming from a Brahmin family there. And many things he told us about himself. When he was born, he told there was some connection with Lord Shiva. Father and mother prayed to Lord Shiva, give them a son. And they promised that if they would give them a son, then they would dedicate him as sannyas in the service of Krishna. And so that's exactly what happened. Later, by Sridhar's mercy, he took the order of sannyas, and he became the Acharya of the body. And from then there, he traveled all over the world a number of times, 24 different times, I think. And like that, spread the message of Sridhar Maharaj all over. And before that, of course, there was Goswami Maharaj, Bhakti Goswami Maharaj, who was coming and listening to Sridhar Maharaj's talks and then recording those talks. And he compiled many of those lectures into the books that we may be familiar with. The Search for Sri Krishna, Reality, the Beautiful, and The Golden Volcano of Divine Love, and The Loving Search for the Lost Servant. So many books came out. Subjective Evolution of Consciousness. They were all books collected by talks collected by Goswami Maharaj and put down in a book form. And that way, the message of Sridhar Maharaj was also distributed all over the world. And then Govinda Maharaj also came afterwards, and he also further spread those teachings and made many disciples throughout the world. I remember he put in his desk in his office in Calcutta, he put one sign behind his desk. Ever see that sign, Oma Devi? You know that sign he put behind his desk?
No, Maharaj.
Huh? That was the sign that said, Trinadapi Sunichena,
Yes.
Prodabhi Sahistana, Amanina, Amanadena, Kirtaniya Sadahan. He put that sign.
Yes, Maharaj. Yes, I saw in temple. Yeah.
That means one should be more humble than a tree.
Blade of grass.
Huh?
Humble than a blade of grass.
So humble than a grass, tolerant as a tree, more tolerant than a tree. Not taking any honor
हो
for
गया उसको काम वगैरह बहुत चल रहा है
Huh? What was that? Oh, Sachin. Hare Krishna. We're talking about Govinda Maharaj. Today is his disappearance day, Tirobhava Mahotsav. And he put that sign. And he used to preach that my religion is to find fault in myself. He told that. He said, the religion I follow is finding fault in myself. And trying to teach the devotees that idea. Everyone was fighting one another, competing with one another. and criticizing one another. And Govinda Maharaj told, no, my religion is to criticize myself, to find fault in myself. And like that, he presented the real humbleness, humility of a Vaishnava. And he was very well known. He didn't like to criticize anyone directly. Tried to see the good in everyone and engage them in service. And Sridhara Maharaj was especially like that. Sridhara Maharaj's conception was that everyone is accommodated in Goloka. Goloka is a place where everything is accommodated. And he tried to see everything in connection with that plane. Even his enemies, he tried to see them in connection with that plane. Because you know that Sridhara Maharaj started the mutt as a kind of rebellion, not rebellion, but rejection of the Gaudiya Mutt. The Gaudiya Mutt members were fighting one another in courts and so many other things. And Sridhara Maharaj thought, I am not of that nature that I want to fight with others. I did not join the devotees to fight with each other. I wanted to make progress in spiritual realization. So therefore he left that association and started his own mutt, the Sri Chaitanya Saraswat mutt, and tried to, in that way, preach the pure message that he had heard from Srila Saraswati Thakur. And yet, in his mutt, if you look at the calendar, you'll see he had all the names of his godbrothers in that calendar, their appearance day and their disappearances. So many things he had there. Of all his godbrothers, whom they were all doing their own way, and that he felt was not really what he was interested in. Still, he included them and honored them in his calendar, showing that he did not eliminate anyone. And the place that he chose to establish his mutt, that place was called Aparada Bhyanjan Pat in Koladweep. Aparad Bhyanjan Pat means that place where all offenses are forgiven. He wanted to be in that place. And he felt Nityananda Prabhu has it. I am fallen soul, and Nityananda Prabhu has accepted me in Navadvip. Just like Jaghai Madhai were accepted by Nityananda Prabhu, even though they were rascals. Still, Nityananda Prabhu wanted them to come and chant Hare Krishna. And they were converted into good devotees just by the mercy of Lord Nityananda and the blessings of Lord Chaitanya. So he was like that, feeling very fallen, and asked Nityananda to please accept him. And that place where he wanted to stay was in that Aparada Bhyanjapad, that place where
Jagai Madai.
Jaghai and Madai were forgiven. So that was his whole mood, to accept everyone, to forgive everyone, and see them all in connection with the higher when. And that was Govinda Maharaja's message also. To find fault in yourself, accept others. They have some connection with Krishna. I may see it, I may not see it, but they have all their connection with the Lord. Why I should criticize them? No. Rather, let me seek their mercy. So that was the mood of Srila Maharaj and Govinda Maharaj both. How much the disciples all understood that, I don't know. We see so many what do you call, different groups, all separating into different groups. Anyhow, somehow they're all chanting and eating prasadam. Each according to their taste. Krishna told in the Gita, Ye yatamam prapadyante tam sataiva bhajami. I give you, I connect with you according to the way you are surrendering to me. But all men are in relation to me anyhow. All men are related to me. He is God. Everyone has a relation to him. Because Krishna is all accommodating, all pervading, omnipresent, omnipotent. So there's no place that is not connected to him. People may forget, they may remember, but they are connected there. Yatamam. And Krishna is fulfilling their desires accordingly, whether they want to come to him or go away from him. Krishna is giving them that ability out of his mercy. So that the higher transcendental vision sees everything in connection with the Supreme Lord. And those who are devoted to Krishna, they also see in the same way. Basically, that was the message given by Srila Maharaj and Govinda Maharaj in the most general sense. And there are also finer details. Nityananda is considered the general guru. But Mahaprabhu himself is a little bit more selective. He, in his later years of life, he went to Jagannath Puri, and only a few devotees were with him. In the beginning, he was preaching to everyone, going in the streets all throughout India, chanting the holy name and distributing love to everyone. But in his later years, he withdrew into a group of his own special servitors, Srip Damodar, Raghunath Das, Pandit,
Ramananda,
Kadadhar,
Ramananda,
and Ramananda Raya, like that. Few very close disciples. And he would spend time with them and cultivating memory, his remembrance and separation of the Supreme Lord. Teaching us by his own life the stages that a devotee goes through also. Anyhow, very amazing. Prabhupada also, A.C. Bhaktivedanta. Prabhupada, he went all over the world, preaching in a very extensive way, in a very general way. So together, Srila Prabhupada and Srila Maharaj and Govinda Maharaj, they represented a very great flood, you could say, of Krishna consciousness in the world. They turned the spigots on completely to let the flow of love of God come to all the people of the world. And Acharya Maharaj also tried to do what he could as a successor of Srila Maharaj. And today, all the devotees are also going on trying to follow the principles as best they can. And in some way, spreading those teachings also. And Srila Prabhupada asked us, myself, and Srila Damodar and Sadhuputta Prabhu, to spread those teachings to the scientific community. Generally, the devotees don't deal with the scientists. The devotees in general deal with the common people. And if there's some scientists or others that comes in their way, of course, they also preach to them. But Prabhupada wanted us to preach especially to the scientific class of men, because he felt if they could be made Krishna conscious, then because people are following them in this modern age, they all follow the scientists. And if the scientists could be convinced of Krishna consciousness, then all the people that are following them will also have to go in that direction. So he felt that was an important preaching activity. Not that all were to engage like that, but the few of us who he chose, who he felt he wanted to, who were already educated in the scientific field, he wanted them to use the science, what sciences had developed, to use that in Krishna's service and try to bring the rest of the scientists into that line of thinking of Mahaprabhu. And like that, we are continuing that process today also in a very humble way, where only a few persons. And even there, we see there is so much division. There are so many Bhaktivedanta institutes, different institutes in the world. But again, they're all trying, I guess, the same thing, trying to introduce the ideas of science and the ideas of Krishna consciousness in a scientific way. And like that, the Hare Krishna movement, the movement of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So many big and small devotees carrying on the activities of preaching. Anyhow, nice to remember the life of Govinda Maharaj, the life of the devotees, how they struggled to come to their position. And we can get some inspiration from that also in our lives. No, that is not by some magical gift that we suddenly become Krishna conscious devotees. They had a long struggle, hard struggle. Prabhupada's life was very, very difficult. Sridhar Maharaj also, and Govinda Maharaj also. He had to start from someplace. And over a period, I think, of about 40 years, he remained with Sridhar Maharaj, being trained how to become the next Acharya. I mean, not a momentary thing, a long procedure and difficult procedure. So we should be patient, and we should have tolerance and endeavor with great faith in our journey. That is what we learn from that, studying their lives.
I think Ananda Krishna Prabhu was a disciple of Govinda Maharaj.
You're a disciple of Govinda Maharaj, Ananda Krishna Prabhu?
Yes, Maharaj.
Yes. Do you have anything you want to say in his honor?
And initiation in 25 years for Trivikram Maharaj Ritvik.
25 years ago, Trivikram Maharaj acted as Ritvik for Govinda Maharaj.
Okay. You never met personally then?
No. Is no go in India. No Srila Govinda Maharaj.
Okay. But he came there, no? Govinda Maharaj came there to
Brazil?
Brazil?
Yes, no. Govinda Maharaj is Brazil, no initiation.
Okay.
And Govinda Maharaj years 1994, 1948. Two visitors in Brazil.
I see.
Wow.
But you didn't get a chance to meet him.
Yes.
Uh,
First is Bhuvana Mohan Prabhu. Oh,
ah,
two Govinda Maharaj in Ashram, Campos do Jordão, Brazil. Trinadya Pisunichina Tarura Pisahijna Mani Namana Dena Kirtana Hasa Dahari. Humble tolerance and respect.
mhm.
Beautiful word.
But hard to follow. To follow those instructions, huh? That must be. To be humble than grass, huh? More tolerant than a tree. Don't expect respect from others and give respect to others. Very hard to do, huh?
All right.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Can I tell one thing to Ananda Krishna Prabhu?
Yeah.
Prabhu, I don't know if you heard this before, but when Srila Shanta Maharaj was there with Govinda Maharaj and some South Indian devotees, maybe around 2010 or 2009, the South Indian devotee, he asked to Govinda Maharaj, currently we're engaged in seva to Sripad Bhakti Madhava Puri Maharaj. Is that okay? And Govinda Maharaj said, service to Sripad Puri Maharaj is the same as service to me. Govinda Maharaj said that.
I understand, Prabhu.
Aye.
Govinda Maharaj knows that I was always honoring him, giving much honor to him. Whatever he would say, I would do that. That's why he said like that. He knows that I did whatever he wanted me to do. So he was happy if someone was doing something for me, that I was doing something for all things for him, then no problem. Jayo Vishnupad Paramahamsa Paribrajaka-Acharya Asatara Sata Sri Srimad Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev-Goswami Maharaja Ki Jai.
Jai.
Srila Bhakti Rakshak Dev-Goswami Maharaja Ki Jai.
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 So we'll just read one sloka, from Prapanna-jivanamrtam. We're on text chapter 8, Surrender and Humility, text 29. Nayo Vishnupad, Paramahamsa, Parivrajaka-Acharya, Asatara Sata Sri Srimad, Bhakti Rakshak Dev-Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai,
Jai.
Sri Prapanna-jivanamrtam Ki Jai.
Jai.
And he's saying here, Sri Krishnaika Vallabhaya Stad Virahe Anubhuta Kila Pranachesta Vyartataya Deha Yatha Nirvadayasyapi Lajrakara Socha Vyavaharavat Pratiti Sri Krishna Rupadi Nishevanam Vina Yartam Me Anyaki Lendriani Alam Ashara Shukendana Parakanyaho Parakanyaho Viparmi Vatani Katam Hatta Trapa. Kasanchit means a devotee or devotee. And then when separation, Krishna's faithful sweetheart realizes her whole urge for living has been thwarted. Even to maintain her body is felt to be a shamefully lamentable task. Then, my dear, this is the words, I think, of Srimati Radharani to one of the gopis. She says, "My dear companion, without the service of Sri Krishna's divine form, nature, and pastimes, all my senses have become senseless. Now, how will I be able to shamelessly bear the burden of their wood-like, stone-like senses?" So they're very nice how the idea of separation from Krishna turns the senses, when the senses have no engagement with Krishna, they become a burden for one. What is the use? In the Bhagavatam, there's also a verse that mentions something like that. It said, the eyes that don't see Krishna, they're as useless as the eyes on the peacock feather. Huh? You know, the peacock feather looks like an eye. Huh? And the eyes that of the human being that don't see Krishna, they're just as useless as the peacock eyes. The feathers, peacock feather eyes. So senses are good, are nice, if they can be utilized in the service of the Supreme Lord. Otherwise, what are they for? What kind of what are they used? What are they useful for? Only looking at different mundane things. That is a waste, a boring activity, a futile and a tasteless activity. It's interesting. In the Bhagavad Gita, it also mentions that the senses in contact with the objects of the senses are the cause of suffering. You know, the senses in contact with the objects of the senses are the cause of suffering. Why suffering? We think if my senses contact some object of the senses, if the eyes see a beautiful figure, or if they taste some delicious food, then we become happy, no? If you have a nice ice cream to eat, the tongue feels, oh, it's so nice. But Bhagavad Gita is saying no. When the senses come in touch with the objects of the senses, it becomes a source of suffering. Why? Why is the sense in contact with the object of the sense a source of suffering when we think it's a source of happiness? Just the opposite. When our senses can get what they want, then we think, oh, I'm happy. But Gita telling, no, that's where the source of unhappiness is coming from. Why? You can understand that too much of a sensation of one thing. If you like ice cream, yes, it's nice once in a while. But if you have it all the time, you'll get sick. Huh? It won't be so nice. And the other thing, if you're so addicted to that, when it's not available, then what? When you can't get it somehow or other, then it becomes a horrible thing. Huh? You're missing that. You're feeling that you can't be happy. So the senses are, to a certain limited extent, giving pleasure. But if it's too much, it becomes pain. And if you don't have it, because the senses are temporary, then you can become very unhappy and separation from those things. So the Gita advises, don't try to seek your happiness by getting the objects of your senses. That will not be a lasting and a complete fulfillment. Rather, it will be the source of some unhappiness, discouragement for you. Rather, seek what is eternal. Senses have an eternal engagement in the service of the Lord. Rishikesha, Rishikanam, Sevanam Bhakti Uchate. As explained in the Upanishad, that there's the senses and there's the owner of the senses, the controller of the senses. That is Krishna. And our senses are meant to be utilized in his for his services, for his purposes, for his service. That is Bhakti Yoga. Bhakti Yoga means use your senses. We don't say that you don't use your senses. Use your senses, but use your senses for the service of the Lord. If you want to see something very beautiful, see the beautiful deity of the Lord, the beautiful dress of the Lord, the beautiful faces of the devotees. No, don't stop your eyes. Your eyes don't have to become useless, but they can be utilized in the satisfaction and service of the Lord and developing love for Krishna. That will be eternal. If we can enter into that eternal transcendental vision, because what is Krishna? Krishna is not a material form, it's spiritual. Krishna for us right now is a thought. We only know Krishna as thought, a thought. Then how do we get in touch with a thought? That thought of Krishna. We can use different means. The deity is a way of seeing Krishna for those who have not come to that higher level of realization of who is Krishna. And with their material eyes, they can see the deity form of the Lord. And in that way, use their eyes in the service of Krishna. But the ultimate understanding is that Krishna is everywhere. Vasudeva, Sarvamati. Then how to come in touch with that? By thinking, by remembering. And Krishna says, not only by that, by bhakti, he tells. Bhakti amama vijananti. If you can give your heart to me, your devotion to me, then you can see me all the time. That kind of seeing, and not the ordinary seeing of things of this world. So the separation, Radharani is explaining here, the feeling of separation. When one doesn't have that transcendental vision, or somehow by Krishna's arrangement, if one has ever met Krishna in that way, and then he has the free will, the freedom to appear or not appear before his devotees' eyes, in their consciousness or not. But at times that he's not there. That is also Krishna's way of increasing our longing for him, increasing our love. Sometimes they have this saying, what is that?
Yeah, separation makes the heart grow stronger.
Love,
Separation makes the heart grow stronger.
something like that. That by not being in connection, our love will go stronger. I can't remember that English phrase.
I'm gonna look it up. Absence
Absence
makes the
makes the heart grow stronger.
fonder.
Huh?
Absence makes the heart grow fonder.
Fonder. Absence makes the heart go fonder. So like that, sometimes Krishna uses that method with his devotee. that process. Evil. All right. So does anybody have any question or comment? I like to make. Sachin, how are you doing?
I'm doing good, Prabhu.
Okay.
Yes.
You're studying Bhagavad Gita?
Yes, Bhagavad Gita, I've and I've started Srimad Bhagavatam now since 2 days.
Okay. Good.
The Canto 1.
Yes.
Yes.
So do you understand who is the source of all the gods, all the demigods?
Yes.
Huh?
Krishna.
Krishna. And how by serving Krishna, everyone is served.
Right.
Huh? A very important point. Because he is the source of everything. By serving Krishna, everything is accomplished. Just by serving Krishna.
Yeah, like because the first canto, the book cover, they show the Goloka in the middle and all the lights coming from there, Radha Krishna, and then various other Brahmandas.
Yes.
And then they show Karnodakshai Vishnu,
Yes.
Shirodakshai Vishnu, and Garbhodakshai Vishnu. So this tree, but Vishnu and Krishna, right? It's basically sometimes little confusing because
Well, there, yes, you have to find that. That description will be there in the Bhagavatam also. In the creation of the universe, it will be explained, and even more details are given in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. But anyhow, in the Bhagavatam, it will be explained that the first expansion of Krishna is called Balaram, Baladev. And from Baladev will come Shankarshan. And from Shankarshan will come our
Chaturvyuha. Chaturvyuha.
Shankarshan comes Narayan, and from Narayan comes the Chaturvyuha. Pradyumna, Aniruddha,
Vasudev,
and Shankarshan. So these, and then that Sankarshan of that Chaturvyuha will produce Mahavishnu. Mahavishnu comes from that Sankarshan in the Chaturvyuha. And then from Mahavishnu comes, like you mentioned, the Garbhodakshai Vishnu, the Kshirodakshai Vishnu. Karanodakshai Vishnu is there. Mahavishnu is Karanodakshai Vishnu. And from him comes Garbhodakshai. And then from him Kshirodakshai. And this way you can trace back the expansions of Krishna right from Paramatma or Kshirodakshai Krishna all the way back to Narayan and Shankarshan and then to Krishna. It's all explained there in the Bhagavatam, and also, as I mentioned, you'll find a description of this in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. There's a very detailed knowledge of these things. You'll have
right.
you have to study very carefully to get all that information out. But
Yeah, see, before starting reading Bhagavad Gita year back, right? Before that, always we felt, that Vishnu all of this Rama, Krishna, Varaha avatar, Matsya avatar are Vishnu's avatar. Now that I'm studying, and it to me it's like Vishnu, Rama, Krishna, they're all same. That's how I'm able to process so far. But I know
They're expansions. They're not the same. They're expansions.
Expansions, right?
Expansions. So they're the same and different at the same time. Same and different, because they're expansions of Krishna. Krishna expands his divine energy, and that divine energy expansion takes the form of personality, because everything is personal in the spiritual world. It's all personal, nothing impersonal there. So when Krishna expands his energy, that energy is also personal. Just like, what do you want to say? Just like electricity, huh? Electricity comes from the powerhouse. Now that powerhouse is the origin of all that electricity, but the electricity itself can be transformed. In one place is heating your house, and another place is cooking in the stove, and another place is cooling in the air conditioner, and another place is showing the television. It's all coming from the electricity, but the electricity is manifesting in different ways. Still, all that electricity is coming from the same place, the power station. So like that, Krishna is the source of all energies. Many, many energies he has, infinite energies. And each energy can manifest in different ways. And those are the incarnations. Those are they're called the plenary incarnation. They're full of the same, full of the divine energy. He also has energies that are not fully divine, like the jiva. Jiva is also an energy of Krishna, but it's a finite energy, a limited energy, very limited. Not like a Vishnu tattva. Vishnu tattva has all the potencies of Krishna, almost all. But the jiva tattva has only a limited amount. But still, they're all coming from the same source, Krishna. Something like that. We'll have to try to understand.
Yeah, it is deep. Yeah. So yeah, I'm loving it. I'm reading it. So
yeah, no other religion explains it in so much detail as we find in the Bhagavatam.
Yeah.
Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita. So much detail. Very elaborate, huh? Elaborate.
Very elaborate. Yes. That's the difference I found. Yeah. I mean, not that I read any other Quran or Bible that I read myself, but that's what I heard from Prabhuji, to whose lecture I attend from here. He's from Pune, India. And so far, right? Everything in detail in here, like Bhagavatam, and there are Puranas, there are Vedas and everything. So it's a lot of text and a lot of details given to the greater level.
Yes.
How long, Prabhuji, if you don't mind asking me, you have been?
He said, if you don't mind, he wants to ask how long you've been practicing Krishna.
How long have I been? A long time. Since 1972.
Wow.
And I'm still learning.
You're still learning. So you can imagine we are the devotees. So for us,
I know.
it's gonna start in 1972.
So the infinite Infinite is not so easy to learn in a short time. Even 20,
Yes.
50, 100 years is not enough because it's infinite.
Right.
But we have one hope. We cannot know the infinite, but the infinite can reveal himself to the finite. Krishna can reveal himself to us. Otherwise, it cannot be infinite. If he can't do that, no, infinite can't, no. Infinite can do anything. That's why he's infinite. So Krishna wants to reveal himself to us, then we can know something about him.
Yes.
Very good. Thank you, Prabhu. Very nice. Linda,
Thanks to you.
Dr. Linda, how are you doing?
I'm okay. I sort of listened to all this, and I come away always totally confused. I always thought Vishnu. I always thought Krishna was an avatar of Vishnu.
Huh?
I don't know.
She always thought Krishna was an avatar of
Oh,
Vishnu.
Krishna. He is also.
He is
Also an avatar of Vishnu, but he is also the origin of Vishnu. It depends on the particular time. At times in the history of the universe, there Krishna incarnates from Vishnu. That's a special type of incarnation of Krishna. That's not the original Krishna. That's just what do they call that? A partial expansion of Krishna coming from Vishnu. Otherwise, the full Krishna, they call Swayam Bhagavan. Swayam Bhagavan Krishna is the origin of everything, and the origin of Vishnu. But because Vishnu sometimes is the origin of Bhamana Dev and of Nishinga Dev and even of Balaram and Krishna, he is the origin of those under some circumstances. But it does not nullify the idea or the fact that Krishna is the origin, the original Swayam Bhagavan Krishna is the origin of Vishnu. So Krishna can appear in many forms. His full form or even his partial form. There are different forms Krishna can take. So when he comes in his original form, he is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, or he's born in Mathura, as a baby, to Mother Yasoda and Nanda Maharaj. That is the Swayam Bhagavan. But at other periods, he doesn't appear as Swayam Bhagavan. He only comes in one day of Brahma as his original form. Each day of Brahma he comes, but only in one day of Brahma he comes as the original form. The other days he comes as an avatar of Vishnu. He doesn't come in his original form or complete form. Okay, now that's we know this from the Shastra. So a little confusing if we can't distinguish Krishna in his original form or Swayam Bhagavan Krishna and Krishna in his limited form as an avatar of Vishnu. So there are many names, there are many names of Krishna, right?
Yeah, I know there's many names of Krishna, and I thought, come across that. So you're saying that this Krishna that we see, that's with the gopis and everything, that we see in pictures, that we relate to with the dark skin, that's not the highest Krishna.
It depends.
Oh.
Krishna is Govinda. The painting you have of Krishna, that is Swayam Bhagavan Krishna. But he can come in the form of Vasudeva. He can come in as Vamanadev, he can come as Ram. All of these different forms he can come as. They are not the original Krishna. At the same time, they are. But they're not the same as the original.
Is it like
when you say original Krishna means you're saying Goloka, right? In Goloka, the form of Krishna is what we see, right? That's the original form you meant.
He never leaves. He never leaves Vrindavan. He's always there. So when he appears in other places, that's an expansion of the original form. When Krishna appears in Kurukshetra, for instance, and the chariot with Arjuna, that is not the original Krishna. That is his
right, okay.
That's his expansion.
I understand. Oh.
Because Krishna is always, he has nothing to do. He's always playing his flute and playing with the gopis. That's Krishna. He never leaves that position. To go into these, to appear in these other places and other things, that's only his expansion of him, not his original. Krishna's expansion is just as powerful as Krishna, but at the same time, they're different. And these things are transcendental matters of consideration. How to understand that is very difficult. Yet it is explained in that way, that Krishna is always in Vrindavan with the gopis and playing his flute. He had nothing else to do. You see, in the Vaishnava religion, Krishna doesn't have anything to do. He doesn't even create the universe. In the Christian religion, God has to come down and create the universe. Krishna doesn't do that. He sends us a Brahma. He sends us an ambassador. He sends his servant, Brahma, to create the universe. He doesn't bother with that. He's too busy playing his flute, playing with the cows and the cowherd girls. He never stops that. So how does he create the world? Well, he sends that Brahma. Brahma is coming from where? Brahma is a creation from the Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. Who is who? Garbhodakshaya Vishnu means Krishna. Well, it's coming in the form of Kshirodakshaya Vishnu. Sorry, in the form of Karanodakshaya Vishnu, who's coming from Vishnu. So his creation is not going directly by himself, but indirectly from himself, by his expansions. Innumerable expansions. So Krishna, original Krishna means Krishna with Radharani and the gopis. When we see Krishna appearing without Radharani and the gopis, that is not the original. That's an expansion of him. But
he's depicted as looking the same.
Huh?
He looks the same. He's depicted as looking the same.
Is what?
In the pictures of his pastimes at Kurukshetra and other places.
Yeah, he looks the same.
He looks the same as
but he's not. See, this is the point of Krishna. Krishna is not just Krishna, not just an individual person like that. Krishna means also his abode, his associates, his pastimes, everything. That's Krishna. Just like a king. What is a king? A king is not just a person. You can't say this person is a king, and that's it. A king is somebody who has a kingdom. He has a queen, he has servants, he has an army, he has subjects. He has what are you going to say? A treasury. That's a king. A king is not just an individual person. And so Krishna is not just an individual person either. All of his paraphernalia is also part of Krishna. That is Krishna. Krishna means Krishna and his paraphernalia. Krishna and his associates, Krishna and his pastimes. That is Krishna. And if you take any one of those things away, then it's not Krishna. If you change any of those things, if you change anything, then that's an expansion of Krishna. Understand?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
A little
complex. Always have a lot to think about, Maharaj, after a Saturday evening.
A little complicated, but it's very transcendental knowledge, right? He can do things that we can't even imagine. Well, it's just like an ordinary person, right? Let's say you are a married person, huh? And husband and wife. And if you call that your original personality, but you are also a father or a mother, that's different from a husband and wife. But you're the same person, playing it as a husband, playing as a wife, playing as a mother, playing as a father, playing as a daughter, playing as a son, playing as a policeman, playing as a secretary in an office. These are all different. But it's the same person in different circumstances. No?
But what you're saying, Krishna.
What's the original one? Are you and your husband? Or like
The
that?
Jiva Soul, Maharaj.
Yes. That's another thing. But anyhow, you can see that a person can take on many different activities, many different identities, even though they are a single person. A father can also be a son. He can also be a policeman. When when a man is a policeman and he gets the criminal and he beats him with his stick, he doesn't act like that with his son or his wife, hopefully. He doesn't act in that way. So it's like a completely different function. He can do that without losing his original identity. And so Krishna does that also. We can do that, certainly he can do that. So he expands himself. He can take on different roles without losing his own identity. Simultaneously. We can only do one at a time, but he can do simultaneously. Be himself and other things at the same time.
Haribo.
Haribo.
All right.
Haribo.
Jaya Vishnupad, Paramahamsa, Parivraja-Acharya, Asatana Sata Sri Sripad, Bhakti,
Sundar.
Bhaktivedanta Sri Swami Prabhupada ki jai.
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 Bhakti Rakshak Dev-Goswami Maharaja ki jai.
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 Swami Maharaj ki jai.
Jai.
Madhava Maharaj ki jai.
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 Bhakti Niskam Shanta Maharaj ki jai.
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 Veda Bhaktivinda ki jai.
Jai.
Yidin Govardhana ki jai.
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 Glory to the assembled devotees, the glory to the worldwide devotees.
Jai.
Jai. Tirobhava Mahotsav, Srila Govinda Maharaj ki jai.
Jai.
Go Premanandi.
Hari Hari Bol.
Bo.
Jai Vishnupad, Paramahamsa Sripad Bhakti Madhava Puri Maharaj ki jai.
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 Peace be well, be happy, be safe. My love to you all.
And to you.
Maharaj.
Hare
And
Krishna.
Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Dandavad.
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 Dandavad.